Hello guys, in this video I'm going to talk about 50 important cybersecurity questions or questions related to the cybersecurity job interviews. So let us begin with a very basic question on cybersecurity. If you join as a fresher or in the interviews for freshers into SOC or network security related jobs, they will definitely ask you about what you have understood about cybersecurity and what are all the fundamentals and the basic questions related to cybersecurity. So let us start with the first question. What is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity refers to the protection of hardware, software and data from the attackers. The primary purpose of cybersecurity is to protect against cyber attacks like accessing, changing or destroying sensitive information. Okay, so this is a very basic question and you can answer this question in your own words also. They don't actually, the interviewer gets impressed on like how the way you express or the way you answer. Okay, he is not like asking you to tell the formal definitions, but what you have understood and how you are answering, the way you are answering, he just wants that. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So what are the elements of cybersecurity? Major elements of cybersecurity are information security, network security, operational security, application security, end user education about threats and attacks, and business continuity planning. Okay, so these are all what are the important elements in cybersecurity. So what are the advantages of cybersecurity? So why do you need something called cybersecurity, or why do you need security on network? Okay, so the benefits of cybersecurity are as follows. You can tell on your own, as this is a basic thing, as you also use mobile and internet connection, so you can also tell in your own things, but these are the most preferred way of answering this question. It protects the business against ransomware, very dangerous, malware, social engineering and phishing. Okay, it protects end users data or confidential data related to end users. It gives protection for both data as well as networks. Increase recovery time after a breach, and cybersecurity prevents unauthorized users or access to data. Okay, so again this becomes a very important questions. Again this become a very important question, so give me 1 second, I will just, okay, yes, let us continue the thing. So differentiate between IDS and IPS, as IDS and IPS is an important protection or a network device that protects you from attacks. Very important question. This is a definite question. Maybe you will be asked to differentiate between IDS and IPS, or you will be asked what does or the functions of IPS and IDS. Okay, so the difference is intrusion detection system. IDS stands for intrusion detection system. It detects the intrusions and the administrator has to be careful while preventing the intrusions. And IPS is a prevention system. It finds the intrusion and prevents it or blocks it. Okay, prevents it or blocks it means if specific the like request, there are DOS attack from a specific IP, so you can block it, or you can prevent the traffic from that, or you can block the traffic from that particular IP. So this is how IPS and IDS work. And take it as an important question. You have to go through a lot of facts about IDS, how does it works, what exactly rules it uses to filter data, or how it is different from firewall. So again this becomes an important question, how IPS and IDS differ from firewall. Okay, again, okay, note down the question and you can search the answer in the Google. What is CIA? Very important question. Many of the interviews, a frequently asked question is CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity and availability. It is a popular model which is designed to develop a security policy. CIA model consists of 3 concepts. Confidentiality: ensure the sensitive data is accessed only by an authorized user. So the confidential or sensitive data related to your company or related to your organization should be like preserved, and nobody, like unauthorized access should not happen on that data, or nobody can steal that data. Integrity means the information is in the right format. Okay, so this is again an important aspect of security. Availability: ensure the data and resources are available for users who need them. So firewall, again, like IPS and IDS, firewall is the most important security device that provides security by monitoring and filtering out the packet into your network, all the malicious things, all the attack related data or attackers. It prevents the attackers in somehow. It is not the total security solution for network protection. It is a part of the security solution. Okay, so firewall has got its own way of doing or monitoring the traffic into your network or outside traffic going outside of your network. Okay, so it is a security system designed for network. A firewall is a set on the boundaries of any system or network which monitors and controls network traffic. Firewalls are mostly used to protect the system or network from malware, worms, and viruses. Firewalls can also prevent content filtering and remote access. See, in the security, in the cybersecurity related job like SOC or network security engineer, you have to mainly work on the logs from these devices. Okay, so that's why firewall is an important device in a network which provides you a lot of information to analyze and so that you can make decisions on network security. Okay, so a definite question will be there on the firewall. Explain Traceroute. It is a tool that shows the packet path. Okay, it lists all the points that the packet passes through. Traceroute is used mostly when the packet does not reach the destination. Traceroute is used to check whether the connection breaks or stops or to identify the failure. Okay, it becomes an important thing to know the traceroute, to know about from where does actually the packet has traveled from source to destination, or from which source, what path it has taken to travel to the destination. Okay, so it becomes an important analysis component. What is SSL or Explain SSL? SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. Maybe you have seen whenever you access SBI or any banking website, you can see in the browser it will be logged in a green color. So that is the main application of Secure Socket Layer. It is a technology creating encrypted connections between a web server and a web browser. It is used to protect the information in online transactions and digital payments to maintain data privacy. Basically, it encrypts the connection between a web server and a web browser so that no attacker in the middle can decrypt it and read out the confidential information related to your transaction, especially the username and password that you use for bank transactions. What do you mean by data leakage? Ultimately, an important concept in network is data leakage. So because of this thing, you use many security solutions to prevent it. So data leakage is an unauthorized transfer of data to the outside world. Data leakage occurs via email, optical media, laptops, and USB keys. Explain the brute force attack. This is a frequently asked question. Many times in the many interviews this question will be asked, as it is a basic attack that happens in internet. It is a trial and error method to find out the right password or PIN. Hackers repeatedly try all the combinations of credentials, and in many cases brute force attacks are automated, where the software automatically works to log in with the credentials. There are ways to prevent the brute force attack, that is setting password length or setting complex password, or increase the password complexity and set limit on login failures. Next thing is the port scanning, through which the vulnerabilities are identified by the attackers. It is a technique for identifying open ports and service available on a specific host. Hackers use port scanning technique to find the information for malicious purposes. Name the different layers of the OSI reference model. This is a very basic question and frequently asked question. You must see, when you go and work in the domain or network domain, you must know this OSI reference model and its 7 layers, its protocol and its data packet thing. So there are 7 layers here: application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. If you are from the CS or IS background, you may be studied this particular concept in your 4th or 5th semester. So it's an easy thing. If you want in detail, you can go through any Google or YouTube link and watch the working of all the 7 layers. What is VPN? Very important question, again frequently asked question in any cybersecurity job related interviews. So VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It is a network connection method for creating and It is a network connection method for creating an encrypted and safe connection. This method protects the data from interference, snooping, and censorship. So VPNs is like when you go and join a company, and if you work from home for a company, you'll also be provided with an VPN so that all the communication between yourself and company goes in an encrypted way so that the hackers doesn't come to know the confidential data related to your work and your company. What are black hat hackers? Black hat hackers are people who have good knowledge of breaching network security. These hackers can generate malware for personal financial gain or other malicious reasons. They break into secure network to modify, steal, or destroy data so that the network cannot be used by authorized network users. So, what is the opposite of it? That is, what are white hat hackers? White hat hackers are security specialists who are specialized in penetration testing. They protect the information system of an organization. What are grey hat hackers? Grey hat hackers are computer hackers who sometimes violate ethical standards, but they do not have malicious intent. So only harmful among black, white, and grey are black hat hackers. How to reset a password protected BIOS configuration? There are various ways to reset BIOS password. Some of them are as follows: remove CMOS battery by utilizing the software, by utilizing a motherboard jumper, and by utilizing MS-DOS. What is MITM or man in the middle attack? Very frequently asked question. A man in the middle attack is a type of attack where an attacker intercepts communication between two persons or record a communication between or interfere in the communication between two persons or a source and destination and try to read out or steal the information or try to pretend as a user to a server and a server to a user so that the important information that flows between the user and a server or a client and a servers can be captured. Define ARP and its working process. It is a protocol used for finding MAC addresses associated with the IPv4 addresses or IPv6 addresses. This protocol works as an interface between the OSI network and the OSI link layer. Very important, you have some techniques called R spoofing or R poisoning, where a hacker tries to map a different IP address to a MAC address or a different MAC address to an IP address, or change the data related to the OR protocol so that the malicious intent can be served. Explain botnet. It's a number of internet connected devices like servers, mobile devices, IoT devices, and PCs that are infected and controlled by malware. What is the main difference between SSL and TLS? Again, an important question. The main difference between these two is that SSL verifies the identity of the sender. SSL helps you to track the person you are communicating to, whereas TLS offers a secure channel between two clients. What is the abbreviation of CSRF? CSRF stands for Cross Site Request Forgery. What is 2FA? How to implement it for public website? 2FA stands for Two Factor Authentication. It is a security process to identify the person who is accessing an online account, and the user is granted access only after presenting evidence to the authentication device. The very best example is a Google Two Factor Authentication, where when you give your username and password to log in, Google will ask, Google will send you a security code over your phone number or to the email, or the security password, Google password resetter there is some kind of software with the Google that generates an random number. So that random number you have to put here to get authenticated. So two-factor authentication has got its own ways of authenticating whether a legitimate user is logging the account or not. Explain the difference between asymmetric and symmetric encryption. Symmetric encryption requires the same key for encryption and decryption. On the other hand, asymmetric encryption needs different keys for encryption and decryption. For example, if you encrypt using public key, you have to decrypt using private key. For a very famous example is your like Netflix, you can see the subscription based views. What is the full form of XSS? This is again an important question. XSS stands for Cross Site Scripting. Explain WAF. Very important question. Definitely you are going to get the question on WAF. Web Application Firewall. WAF stands for Web Application Firewall. Web Application Firewall is used to protect the application by filtering and monitoring incoming and outgoing traffic between web application and the internet. What is hacking? Hacking is a process of finding weakness in the computer or private network to exploit its weakness and gain access. For example, using password cracking technique to gain access to a system. Who are hackers? A hacker is a person who finds and exploits the weakness in the computer systems, smartphones, tablets, or networks to gain access. Hackers are well-experienced computer programmers with the knowledge of computer security and computer networking. What is network sniffing? Network sniffing is a tool used for analyzing data packets sent over a network. This can be done by a specialized software program or hardware equipment. Sniffing can be used to capture sensitive data such as password, eavesdrop on chat messages, monitor data package over a network. What is the importance of DNS monitoring? See, the domains are easily infected with the malicious software. So you need to use DNS monitoring tools to identify the malware. Define the process of salting. What is the use of salting? Salting is that process to extend the length of password by using special characters. To use salting, it is very important to know the entire mechanism of salting. The use of salting is to safeguard passwords. It also prevents attackers testing known words across the system. For example, the hash, some hash value is given here, is added to each and every password to protect your password, and it is called as salt. What is SSH? SSH stands for Secure Socket Shell or Secure Shell. It is a utility that provides system administrators secure way to access the data on a network. Is SSL protocol enough for network security? SSL verifies sender's identity, but it does not provide complete security once the data is transferred to the server. It is good to use server-side encryption and hashing to protect the server against a data breach. What is black box testing and white box testing? You have studied these techniques in your engineering if you are from CSRIS background. Black box testing, it is a software testing method in which the internal structure or program code is hidden. White box testing, a software testing method in which the internal structure or program is known by tester. Explain vulnerabilities in the network security. Vulnerabilities refers to the weak point in software code which can be exploited by a threat actor. They are most commonly found in an application like software as a service software. Explain TCP Three-way handshake. Again, a very important question. This question can be like they can ask you TCP Three-way handshake, or they can ask you differentiate between TCP and UDP. It is a process used in a network to make a connection between a local host and server. This method requires the client and server to negotiate synchronization and acknowledgement packets before starting communication. Define the term residual risk. What are the 3 ways to deal with the risk? It is a threat that balances risk exposure after finding and eliminating threats. 3 ways to deal with the risk are reduce it, avoid it, and accept it. Define exfiltration. The data exfiltration refers to the unauthorized transfer of data from a computer system. This transmission may be manual and carried out by anyone having physical access to a computer. What is exploit in network security? An exploit is a method utilized by hacker to access data in an unauthorized way. It is incorporated into malware. What do you mean by penetration testing? It is a process of checking exploitable vulnerabilities on the target. In web security, it is used to augment the web application firewall. List out some of the common cyber attacks. following are the common cyber attacks which can be used by hackers to damage network. See here, in the interviews they will ask you which is a current malware attack you have seen, have you gone through it, and what do you know about the malware attack. They may ask this question definitely. Malware attacks, phishing attacks, password attacks, DDoS attacks, man-in-the-middle, drive-by downloads, malvertising, and rough software. So these are some of the common cyber attacks that you can see in networks. How to make the user authentication process more secure? You may be asked the questions like this if you are a fresher. In order to authenticate users, they have to provide their identity. The ID and the key can be used to confirm the user's identity. This is an ideal way how the system should authorize the user. Explain the concept of cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting refers to a network security vulnerability in which malicious scripts are injected into websites. This attack occurs when attackers allow an untrusted source to inject code into a web application. Name the protocol that broadcasts the information across all the devices. Internet Group Management Protocol or IGMP is a communication protocol that is used in game or video streaming. It facilitates routers and other communication devices to send packets. How to protect email messages? Use cipher algorithm to protect email, credit card information, and corporate data. What are the risks associated with the public Wi-Fi? Public Wi-Fi has many security issues. Wi-Fi attacks include karma attack, sniffing, ward driving, brute force attack, etc. Public Wi-Fi may identify data that is passed through a network device like emails, browsing history, passwords, and credit card data. What is data encryption and why it is important in the network security? Data encryption is a technique in which the sender converts the message into a code. It allows only authorized user to gain access. Explain the main difference between Diffie-Hellman and RSA. Diffie-Hellman is a protocol used while exchanging key between two parties, while RSA is an algorithm that works on the basis of two keys called private and public key. What is Remote Desktop Protocol? Remote Desktop Protocol or RDP is developed by Microsoft, which provides GUI to connect two devices over a network. The user uses RDP client software to serve this purpose while the other device must run RDP server software. This protocol is specifically designed for remote management and to access virtual PCs, applications, and terminal server. Define Forward Secrecy. Forward secrecy is a security measure that ensures the integrity of unique session key in the event that long-term key is compromised. So these are the 50 or 52 questions which are important for a security or cybersecurity job. So such kind of videos I will bring on my channel, so do share this video among your friends who are into this domain or looking for question and answers. If you like the video, please hit the like button, do share this video among your friends and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.